Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Hopefully this will be a shorter video than usual. My game wasn't very long. Tomorrow I play Irene Sukandar. She won today against the leader, Berisha Polets. He sacrificed a piece for insufficient compensation, and many moves later she won. So yeah, there's sort of a big tie with 50%. I think there's four of us. Crush, Sukandar, me, Alejandro Ramirez. There might be somebody else. And I think Robert Hess is +1. Akshat lost again, so he has 1 out of 7. I play white against Sukandar tomorrow. I beat her about 3 or 4 months ago, and I only played her the one time. And I'm black against Akshat in the last round. Okay, I'm black against Cristian Chirila. Chirila had 4 out of 5, 3 wins and 2 draws, and then he lost to Bersha Politz yesterday. And yeah, that guy had 5.5 out of 6, but he's still in first place by a point. So he's in first, Bersha Politz, and second is Chirila. Third is Hess, and I'm tied for fourth with 3 other people, at least. And like that. In the A group, Fedoseev won today against Jeffrey Zhang. So Fedoseev and let's see, what's the British GM's name? I can't remember it. David Howell. Wow. They're +2. They're tied for first. Howell has 2 wins and 5 draws, and been time trouble every game. And Fedoseev, who won Aeroflot 2 weeks ago, and gets to play in Dortmund as a result, he lost the first round, and then he's been killing it since. So chess is tough. Okay, so my opponent played knight f3. I didn't know what he would play, but he plays knight f3, d4, c4, and usually plays all of them. So I was going to play the Slav. And if he plays d4, I'll play d5. If he plays c4, I'll play c6. And he played g3. So it's the end of my prep. Okay, so I just play what I usually play. And here I play bishop g4 and bishop f5, but not both. Probably 20 to 30 years ago, bishop f5, and the last 15 years, bishop g4. And I play them both now. He prepared for both, I guess. He prepared for bishop f5 because he told me this is his prep. So d3, usually they play e6, but I played h6. It's actually like a reversed London, sort of. And he played c4. I don't think I've ever had this position before. And he's just still in his prep for the game. This is what he was looking at. E6 is the most common move I took. And now I think white already made a mistake. And that's a sort of a harsh word. I think white gets no advantage with his next move. Knight e5 is the right move. And he knew that move too. He actually knew knight e5, but he was still in his prep. He was going to play some line that I stopped. I guess the idea is nobody takes on d3, I guess because of queen b3. And you're threatening mate, and you're threatening b7. And black's position collapses, I guess. So everybody plays like e6, or everybody does knight bd7, I'm sorry. Knight takes c4, and this is like a line. White's probably a tiny bit better. He took on c4, which is what I expected. I traded queens, which is actually common. This is funny. So after the game, he told me his preparation. I can't believe this is still his prep, because I don't play bishop f5 and h6. So was after knight bd7, which is the most common move, to play b4. And b4 is a really nice idea, because I don't have any defense to the queen side. My bishop's on f5, so he's going to play b5 and knight to d4. Okay. And I thought b4 would be a strong idea, so I played e6. And now he was out of his prep. And e6 is less common than knight bd7, but to me it's clearly better. It's not even a question. And what's funny is I went to my database like half an hour ago and was looking at stuff. And Kamsky played this position because he plays the London with white, so he plays it with black too. And Kamsky played knight bd7 in January of 2016, and he drew, and white did play b4. And then the following month, February, he played e6. So there you go. So Gata thinks e6 is better because he changed his mind next month. He drew both games. And now he thought for a long time. And knight c3 is every game ever played. Every game is knight c3. He played b3, then we're already out of book. Okay, so I developed my pieces, and he developed his pieces. So that's how chess is played. And now, at some point, I thought he'd play knight d4 or try to play e4 at some point. So I thought my bishop should probably go to g6 or h7 and not stay on f5. But I wanted to kick his rook first, so I played bishop to c2. And the idea is if he plays sort of the obvious rook d2 and I go back, now if I play knight e4 later or bishop b4 later, obviously his rook's not on the best square. I don't really care if he doubles rooks because I can castle queenside. If he wants to trade all the rooks, okay, not sure how that gives him an advantage. So rook takes d7 is interesting. It's a bad move, but it's interesting. And the idea is to play e4 and trap my bishop. And the computer says it's just horrible for white. So I guess it's not good. I'm not even sure why. I looked at it and I was agreeing. I guess knight c5 is a good move, I think. And then I have bishop d3 and knight d3 and knight takes e4 and bishop takes e4. Okay. So anyway. All right. So that was interesting, but okay. He played rook e1, which is not the computer move, but he wanted to put his other rook on d1 and play e4. It seems like if white doesn't play e4 ever, then what does he do? Like, what's his plan? He can't really expand anywhere, so I don't know. All right, so rook e1 makes sense to me because he wants to play e4. Now, I don't the computer, of course, doesn't care if my bishop's trapped on c2. It sees all kinds of tricks, but okay, I'm not going to play e4 and trap my bishop. So I play bishop h7, and I guess if he wants an advantage, he plays e4. It doesn't give him an advantage, but trying is the first step to failure. So Chirila played e4. I played knight c5, threatening knight to d3. And I guess also threatening the pawn on e4, sort of. Well, he can't really play knight d3, so he's got to stop that. He could play knight e5, I guess, but nothing gives him anything. I'd rather have black here, to be honest with you. Okay, so he played rook d1. So now I found a forced draw, and I was like, forced draw with black, and I didn't think at all. So I was like, okay. And I thought after rook d8 I might be better, but normally when I think I'm better, I'm not. Actually, the computer thinks I'm better, maybe like 0.15 or something. You know, I'm threatening knight d3. So I was worried if he got to play knight d4 and f3, and after f3 my bishop on h7 looks sort of silly. Once his pawn gets here, my bishop is looking bad. So I didn't want to risk having a bad position when I can just have like an easy draw with black against a higher rated player with more points, especially after 270 move games. I'm not really very ambitious, even though my fans are really ambitious. They're like, you should be the world champion. Okay, I'm at 47. I'm on the downslope for quite a long time. I'm about 80 points worse than at my best. So when I'm playing people who are in their teens and 20s, I'm trying not to lose. So 50% is fantastic to me. People who are like going up and their rating goes up every year, and mine obviously isn't. So an easy draw with black against the guy who's coming in second place seemed nice after 2 5-hour games. So I calculated all the way basically to the end of the game here. I took on e4. Note, if I try to be greedy and win a pawn, I thought that in this position I would get in trouble because my knight's attacked twice, and if I move it to some normal square, he has knight c6. And if I take it, bishop c6 check forks my king and rook, and I lose. So, whoa, let's see, I did something bad. Okay, it was some Skype. Skype keeps popping up. All right, so I was dissuaded from losing immediately, and I played for the forced draw, and it's just forced. Knight e4, he can't lose a pawn, so he has to take. I can't take with a knight because my g7 pawn is hanging, and then my game would be terrible because I'm probably losing h6 also. So I take with the bishop. I'm a pawn up for nothing, so his only move is bishop takes f6, bishop takes f3. I'm still a pawn up, and my opponent has 3 pieces under attack. So if he takes my bishop on f3, I'm a pawn up for nothing. So he has to play, if he plays bishop takes e7, I'm the exchange and a pawn up for nothing. So I can't do that. So he only has one move, bishop g7. And bishop takes d1 is okay. Computer said I can go here, 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 which I looked at. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to have a weak h-pawn, I want opposite color bishops, not 4 bishops. Computer says I'm fine here. I thought after bishop c3, I was probably a tiny bit worse, and that's what my opponent thought. Computer doesn't agree, says it's equal. Okay, so I played a more equal line. I played rook h7. Again, he has 3 pieces hanging in materials equal, so he has to take my bishop, because nothing else to do. I can take all his pieces. I'm getting lots of crazy comments. I hope you can see them. Okay. Now in this position, obviously it's just to draw if nothing happens. And he has one trick, and when I played knight takes e4, if we can go back, in this position, when I played knight e4, I saw takes, 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 to here, 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 and I saw that he only has one trick, which is bishop h5. And he's threatening rook takes e6. And you're probably like, rook takes e6, just stop it. Yeah, good luck. So king f8 stops rook takes e6, but then his rook goes to d7. So that's probably much better for white. Okay, but I mean, I saw this when I did all that stuff. So I played rook d8. He can't take on e6, because even though his bishop is defending his rook, it's pinning my f-pawn. So then he just loses a rook. And if he takes my rook, then I take with the king. So my f-pawn's not pinned. And we're in this dead drawn position. So basically, I had to see rook d8 when I did all that nonsense. Okay, and I did. I played rook d8 pretty quickly. He played f4, and I traded, played bishop c5 check, broke the pin, and just dead draw. He was thinking a long time on every move because he knew it was a draw, but he's trying to find something. But yeah. King f3, my rook's ridiculous on g7, so rook g8. And basically, I could just draw here by moving around, like bishop b4, bishop c5, rook h8. If it's my move, I was probably going to play f5 and then rook d8 to make it more drawn. I could also play f6 and rook d8. But I don't want to move my rook to d8 if his king can go to g4, and then maybe it can go to h5, and that's still a dead draw. In fact, you could imagine a position where he cheats and just plays king takes h6. So imagine like we trade the rooks, and he plays king takes my weak pawn. Oh no! Then I play bishop g1 and draw. So, yeah. Can play like king f8 or king f6, because all his pawns are on dark squares, so I just keep attacking them. So even if he cheats and makes like 5 moves in a row, I think it's still a draw. Obviously, he can't win my h-pawn, because I could defend it 1,000 ways. Bishop g7, bishop f8, king f6. There's no reason to trade rooks, though. White's rook can't do anything. There's no plan for white's rook. So I could play actively. I could play rook a8, a5, a4, and I don't know what he does about that. I could try to get an active rook. But anyway, I could do nothing. I could trade rooks. I could attack. So after rook g8, he ingeniously found a way to make the game a draw before the 30-move rule. That's why he's a professional grandmaster. So in this tournament, there's a 30-move draw rule, unless it's a triple repetition. So usually when it's a dead draw, and it's before move 30, grandmasters find a repetition. And he did. So I'm actually guessing you guys, unless you've seen the game, you probably can't do it. That's why he's a grandmaster, and you're some guy on the internet not donating to me. So he played rook d2. When he played rook d2, I was like, aha, because I'm a grandmaster too, so I know about these things. Rook d2 doesn't do anything, but it lets us repeat. So I played bishop b4, and he played rook d1 as expected. So we knew what to do. And then here I claimed a draw, and he said, yeah. And then when Tony Rich came over, the arbiter, we were trying to explain to him it was 3 times because it wasn't move 30, and he's like, yeah, whatever. He didn't care. So that was a pretty boring draw. Basically, I had to see a little tactics, but I traded queens. We traded a lot of minor pieces. We got to an opposite bishop ending that was boring. So that was a very easy draw because in every game I've been in time trouble, I play slow. This game I didn't play slowly, and actually he did. So I was like 40 minutes on the clock here. So I wasn't getting in time trouble. I couldn't blunder any pieces because I traded them all. So I was pretty happy to have an easier day after the last 2 days where I basically had the last game to finish almost. Those were tough days. There was still a lot of exciting chess. Remember, go to uschesschamps.com. Not only for this tournament, which is ending on Sunday, but also the U.S. Championship coming up in 10 days will also have that. Happy St. Patrick's Day. For those of you who are watching the tournament live, the last round on Sunday is actually at 11 a.m. local time, which is noon Eastern. It's an hour earlier than you usually watch it. So I would do that, tune in an hour earlier. Grandmaster Ben Finegold, please like and subscribe. I got to delete some more comments now because I saw some coming in. And, if you're really crazy comments, the least you could do is donate because then I have time to delete all of them. All right, good job, guys. You guys are great fans. I think I got 4,000 subscribers now. And basically, my channel's been up for about 6 weeks. And I had 100 subscribers when I started, which is weird because my channel was dormant for like 2 years and I had 100 subscribers. Don't understand that. I'm sure there were no bots. Yeah, that's the ticket. Oh, I forgot my coffee. Oh, my God. That's the stuff. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And see you tomorrow when I play Irene Sukandar, and I'll show you that game. Bye, everyone.